Hello everyone, Turtleags here, bringing you another AFK Journey video. Today I have a very spicy video for you today. Well, I said today twice, sorry. Basically what I'm going to do is talk about Vala's kit. She is, after all, our featured character for this, you can say like patch for this game. And she's a fantastic unit. A lot of people who pulled her because she's really hot, and actually if you do buy some packages in the game, you have the potential to eventually get her skin, and this is her signature skin. And she looks really cool. I love her kit. And actually I noticed that during PvP earlier this morning, during the daily reset, that maybe about a third of the people who were high up in the upper echelons were running Vala. So I figured, why don't I take this opportunity to talk about Vala's kit, go over my personal recommendation for her team, and also go over some replays against different Vala teams. Earlier this morning when I did PvP, I intentionally went up against all the Vala teams that I saw in PvP. That way I could have as many examples for you guys to kind of cook your own Vala team with. And I actually lost to two of them. My two losses both had Vala on their team. So maybe you'll, after this video, have an idea of how she works, what teammates may suit her, what spell to play on a team like hers, and maybe you can push content with her. I mean, how cool is that? So let's first talk about Vala's kit. So Vala, she is basically a light bearer rogue, ranged, quite a long range actually, 7 tiles, which is excellent because rogues, they're not the tankiest, but they're known for dealing lots of damage, and the best rogues, in my opinion, target a specific enemy in the back row that you want to take out. Usually it's going to be a mage, because mage can like burst down, or maybe, yeah, burst down your team. A lot of them do AoE damage. So let's go over her kit. Let's see here, how do I show her kit? Let me see. All right, here we go. So we'll go one by one. I'll basically read the skills and basically summarize for you what that translates to in combat. So her ultimate is called Swift Shift. When Vala casts the skill at an empty tile, she jumps to the tile and switches to Sky Blaster mode. She prioritizes shooting the marked enemy, dealing 450% damage and stunning them for 4 seconds. So her ultimate stuns them for 4 seconds and deals a decent amount of damage. From afar, by the way. And it's a marked enemy, so prior to the battle, you get to position your Vala to target the most threatening and maybe also squishiest enemy on the back row. I recommend targeting a mage or a marksman, or maybe an opposing rogue. Try not to target the healer. This is what I learned from personal experience. I'll do showcases after I talk about her kit, and you'll probably know why. So when Vala casts the skill at an enemy, she switches to the sword mode. She rushes to slash the target. So this is interesting because she starts off ranged and then she teleports over to, after stunning them, to where they're at and starts meleeing them. Okay, so she rushes to slash a target, dealing 420% true damage, which bypasses the enemy defenses. Assuming that this is like other games, and I talked to Kakigacha and Lucky Lux about this, and they both say that true damage is very good. And all her normal attacks become melee attacks. So in auto battle mode, which is what most of you guys will do, Vala switches to sword mode and prioritizes the marked enemy if their HP ratio is lower than 50%. So this is important because this is what triggers her kit, more of her kit, which I'll talk about in a moment. Otherwise, she switches to Sky Blaster mode to shoot the enemy and remains at a safe distance. So basically what this translates to is that if the enemy is, below 50% HP, which is close to them dying, right? She'll go into melee, like going next to them and attacking them with her sword. But if they're all topped off in HP, she's smart. She jumps out of the way to a far distance. You'll see in combat what I mean. And basically Sky Blaster mode, sniping them down. Yeah, and then as you gain more levels, she deals increased damage. Yeah, so that's the ultimate. Notice beforehand, Vala sends a notice to mark the farthest enemy when a battle starts. So you basically, yeah, the farthest enemy. So the furthest back in the enemy position. She attacks the noticed enemy in priority, absorbing 90 energy for each hit. Yeah, so this is pretty cool. She targets the back row enemy, and so that's why I say target a mage, right? Because the mages usually are most threatening with their ultimate, where they AoE down your team. So you steal the energy so that it keeps them from casting their ultimate for a couple more seconds. When the notice enemy is defeated, Vala sends the notice beforehand to the farthest enemy if she's in Sky Blaster mode, or the nearest enemy in sword mode. I love this clause because basically it optimizes her rotation, depending on what is more optimal, which is sniping the weak unit. Oh, well, actually, yeah, if she's far away from the enemy already, she'll snipe them, but if she's within range, then she'll, melee them. So she's kind of like a marksman and a rogue all in one. Well, we haven't gone into the part that unlocks her potential, though. So checkmate. In Sky Blaster mode, which is from far away, Vala shoots with an exclusive bullet, dealing 230% damage to an enemy and reducing their haste by 60 for 8 seconds. So we mentioned earlier that she steals their energy, right? She also reduces their haste, which I was talking to chat during my live stream yesterday, and unfortunately, I don't know why, but they don't explain what haste does. You can't click for an explanation. But in most games, haste, what that means is that their attack speed lowers. I don't think it's their movement speed. I think it's their attack speed. Yeah. And in sword mode, she launches 3 consecutive strikes to an enemy. Each strike deals 100% and stuns them. So this is pretty cool. So if she's from far away, then she will reduce their attack speed. If she's in melee range, she stuns them. Isn't that cool, right? Because the problem with rogues a lot of times is that, and Aaron is a perfect example of it, they do their kit, they do their shenanigans, but they forget that they're squishy, and so they often die. However, with Vala, she has the ability to be in melee range and stun them, which helps with her survivability and allows you to get hopefully enough attacks off to finish the job and unlock her true potential, which we're getting close to. Hero focus. So Vala increases her attack by 9% during battle. She also gains an extra 3% every time a non-summon enemy is defeated. So what does this mean? So this basically encourages you to defeat the enemy, which unlocks a lot of her kit. Hi Excision, you're on YouTube right now. I'm filming a Vala guide right now. We're in the beginning parts of it, going over her kit first. So yes, this is pretty much her kit. Like, she's able to hit from afar, she hits close up, she has different tools in her toolkit to be able to stun them, reduce their haste, or drain their energy, sometimes a combination of the two, in order to basically improve her survivability And she also has parts of her kit like her hero focus that boosts her attack so she deals more damage. Now I gotta say she's not the burstiest attacker prior to her special move, which we'll talk about soon. Okay, next, Night Maneuver. So when a marked enemy is defeated, Vala hides in darkness and can only be targeted after all allies are defeated, increasing her movement speed by 60% and haste by 80 for 10 seconds. So Night Maneuver is what makes Vala Vala. Basically, when you get her to Mythic Plus, so it's an investment, right? And she's a limited character, so you're kind of committing to her. When you unlock her Mythic Plus and she KOs her marked enemy, and the marked enemy when we enter combat, I'll show you. It's like the rain, the gray cloud over their head. When she defeats that marked enemy, she will like turn into a shadow and start moving around like crazy, 60% movement speed, and attacking like crazy. She'll be like rapid fire. Yeah, it's pretty cool. For 10 seconds. Yeah. And so during this time, there should be a clause that mentions that she's invincible. I think that's her EX weapon. We'll go to that soon. Vala, and then when you get her to Supreme, or yeah, I think Supreme Plus, Vala's damage dealt to the marked enemy is increased by 10%. So more damage essentially. And her EX weapon is kind of what ties her together. If I can get to that.
Mystery is the most beautiful thing a girl could
Oh, here we go.
Mystery is the most beautiful thing a girl could wear.
Okay, so oh, that's her night maneuver. Okay, gotcha. So I'm trying to find the. Oh, okay, yeah, it's the first sentence. So basically, when she KOs the marked enemy for 10 seconds, she basically is untargetable unless all her other allies are defeated, which means basically she's invincible for 10 seconds. It's like the lucky star in Super Mario. So yeah, that's basically her kit. And so you see she's very versatile. And she's one of probably the best rogue we have in this game, if I'm not mistaken. Even better than Aaron, I think, in my opinion. I've tried Aaron, that's another video. Okay, so now that we've gone over her, I'm going to go over my favorite team for her, and then we'll, after that, we'll do some showcases of this in like an arena situation, or not arena situation, an AFK stage situation, because I finished my PvPs for today. And then we'll watch some replays of me going against various Vala teams. That way you guys kind of get an understanding of how she works, and I'll kind of explain what the team does. Okay, so so this is my favorite team for Vala. So basically, the problem with Lightborn right now, or Lightbearer, I'm sorry, is that there's not many, like, it's not that they have bad units, is that they don't have as many superstars as, like, say, Graveborn or let's say Wilder. Those are probably the two best classes in my opinion at the moment. Yeah, or factions rather. So what I did was I cherry picked the two best Lightbearer units, Vala and Rowan, and then I basically took the all-stars from the Graveborn team. And this is going to be different from the ones I face in PvP, because I think they value another Lightbearer tank who is built like a tank but actually doesn't function like a tank. Tamesia, I'll talk about her in a moment. We'll watch some videos of her. But let's go ahead and do some AFK stages, and I'll kind of explain what's going on. And I'll also explain like the party setup if you guys want to make this team. So this is kind of a Monka-esque map for this team because let me see here. I don't like it when they add walls and they cram you to to the back, but anyways, so this is kind of the team. So basically what you want to do is, so I would do the team like this, actually. Actually, no. Okay, so you want your Carolina and your Vala to be out of range as best as you can. And then you have Thorn in the front. Oh wait, no, that's Smokey. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. So if you have Thorn Mythic Plus or higher, he's able to create a bond with the person behind him, where when that person behind him gets hit, Thorin absorbs, I think, like 40% of that ally's damage. And when Thorin dies, the person bonded behind him will lose, I think, like 90% of their HP and transfer it to Thorin to help him revive, However, because a healer, will heal himself, so that's a perfect team combination. You keep your healer alive, and when the bonded person who will be the healer loses his HP, he will be the most likely person to top himself back up in terms of HP, right? That's the idea. And we want to keep our squish units ranged. Now, this is kind of interesting because I kind of had to maneuver it a little bit. So remember what I said before. Ideally, the best target for Vala is not a healer. Because the healer can heal himself, right? And you want to defeat them to get Vala into the superstar mode, right? And this is perfect because ideally I want to take out the marksman or a mage. Mage is even better because they tend to take longer to generate their energy. And remember what I said earlier about her stealing energy. Vala can steal energy, so... Oh, he is a magic user. Perfect. So this is the ideal situation. And I want to explain something else. So Carolina, the reason why I like her so much, it's this mage right here. I like her a lot because when you get to endgame, her crowd control is incredibly useful. Carolina has the potential to do a lot of damage in AoE situations. And what she does is she freezes the enemy for like 4 seconds, I think, when you have her lower leveled, and more seconds if you have her more invested, and does splash damage to the surrounding area. So I actually like that more than Temesia, which a lot of PvP players used. I think maybe they copy pasted each other or something. We'll see. But I like Carolina more personally. And then of course Cessia, she's just a busted damage dealer. She's basically 2 units in one, and she does a lot of damage. Okay, and she's a little bit tankier than a lot of units. She's actually pretty tanky for a marksman, so I sometimes have her a little bit more forward to kind of take attention away from the back row. So now that I've explained that, let's go ahead and see how this plays out. Now I do have to preface that I'm facing enemies 50 levels higher than me. Well, actually we're evenly matched now because I woke up this morning and leveled up. So okay, this is an even match. So let's see how this works. Let's go. All right, so pay attention to the Rain Cloud Brian. Yeah, so he's being taken out, and Vala will enter her mode right about now. Okay, so she KO'd the guy. Now she's in the invincible mode. She's moving like crazy. She's breaking down. Okay, and she also crowd controlled the healer. She's out of invincible mode now, but yeah, that was pretty cool. So you notice how there was an icon over Smokey. Because remember, when she's in melee mode, which was what happened at that time. She stunned Smokey. He couldn't heal. And when Smokey can't heal, he has the icon over his head. So that's huge, right? Because sometimes she'll stun the healer and then the enemy units die because they needed the heal. And remember, this is a very offensive team, more offensive than the Temesia variant, which other people play. So this is why I personally think this is the best team. But I'm just one person, right? You can theory craft and test it out. The beauty of this game is that uh, there's not really a best team because there will always be an enemy formation that has a better team that matches up against that team. So let's go ahead and do another showcase. We'll keep pushing until I keep dying on the stage. So prior to the match, Vala positioning is huge. You want to kind of take a look at their unit. Okay, so this one, is it a healer? No. Okay, so this is interesting, right? Like, which one's more threatening? The guy that debuffs you, controls you, and decreases your movement and attack speed, or the unit that just fires arrows at you? Obviously, the one you want to take out first is the guy that's doing all the buffs to enhance the entire team, but is not a healer. So, and is the magic user, so that's even better, right? We love draining energy from magic users. It's like Vala 101. So, let's go ahead and try this team out. I'm very confident. Oh, and one thing I should mention too is the reason why Rowan is so nice, especially at Mythic Plus and above. I currently have him at Legendary. Is that he, as you level him up more and invest in getting more copies of Rowan, when you get him to Mythic Plus, he actually gets more potions to toss at your team to heal them. And this heals them and also increases energy for everyone within his radius. So that's why you want Rowan in the middle, and of course you're going to tuck him behind Thorin to take advantage of the Thorin bond that I talked about earlier. And I just emphasize Rowan because he's an energy battery, right? He grants energy to your team, which allows Carolina to freeze sooner, Cessia to focus down enemies like with her ultimate sooner, and it allows Vala to enter her ultimate phase sooner, which is what we talked about earlier, is what drains their energy. So it's perfect. This team is very synergistic. So in terms of spells, I think you have several options. For harder content now, I tend to either go Iron Wall or Awakening. Lately, I've been really liking Awakening because sometimes I'll face a team that crowd controls my healer, and sometimes having a second healer in the form of a spell is kind of nice. Plus, it improves your defense and your attack, which, you don't want your Vala to die, and you want your Vala to do more damage, so I think this is perfect. So yeah, I prefer the Awakening spell. But you'll notice when we get to PvP that the Temesia variants, most of the PvP players at the upper echelons, and I'm a whale, so these are whales that are playing these teams, they kind of curate their team so it's Temesia, and then they go to the Confining spell, which locks down the position of your teammates so that Temesia can bash your team over and over again. So anyways, because I'm playing my variant, I'm going to go with the optimal spell for my team. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and try this out. So just kind of notice what Vala's doing here. She's doing decent damage. She's not a crazy unit. I have her moderately invested. And mine's is a Supreme Plus, by the way. Okay. So unfortunately my Vala died, so I'm going to need to watch that replay, figure out what happened there. But we still won though. It's fine. Yeah. That's actually quite unusual. I need to figure out what happened there. Let's see. Oh, the marksman probably killed her. Interesting. So if I had wiped and I was to replay the match, I would swap the position so she's targeting the marksman from afar, and the marksman is targeting someone besides Vala. But I'm still confused as to why she died, so let's take a look. I know she stepped forwards a little bit. Oh yeah, the tank. Oh yeah, okay, that's what happened. Yeah. Okay, so that's what happened there. But you know, your team's not going like every team's going to be a little different. Let's keep moving. Okay, so here is another example. This is perfect to illustrate. So remember what I told you before, I don't target the healer because they can heal themselves, right? And we want to get Vala to her special ninja mode as quick as possible. So, and actually Brian, to be frank, is the better target because he's a magic user and you want to take out the magic users ASAP. So let's go ahead and try this. I think this should be better. Out of curiosity, okay, yeah. So it looks like it's going to be she targets the person furthest from her. That's why when you move her opposite directions, it's further, right? Because diagonal is further than straight, if you learn in elementary school or middle school. Vala died again. Okay, I don't know why that happened. Oh yeah, we barely scraped that. Okay, we still won. Now, these are really tough stages, by the way. How did Vala die? So positioning her is really important, right? She's not the tank. Rogues die quick. Let's see what happened there. So, oh, this stupid. Okay, yeah, she probably KO'd her. Let's see. Who is targeting her? Yeah, it's Leica doing Leica things. Whenever I wipe, it's usually because of Leica. Okay. So anyways, let's press onwards. Let's do maybe like 2 more showcases and then we'll watch some replays. I'll just keep going because you guys probably want to see more examples. So mage quickly recovers energy, reducing target's magic defense. So they're pretty much the same. So at that point, then I see who's more threatening in the front. Knocking down nearby enemies. Decreases enemy energy. I'm gonna keep her away from the warrior. And actually, I'm gonna switch spells to the Iron Wall spell. I really need the tank to hold the front line. So let's go ahead and try this. Stonewall is my favorite spell, by the way. Yeah. I think the reason why Vala was getting targeted was because Thorn was dying. Okay, so now she's in invincible mode. She's going... Yep. So you see how fast she moves, how fast she attacks, and how much damage she does. So that's kind of the idea. Okay, magic user enhances abilities after they grow rapidly. So these are both really good, but I'm going to take out the magic user who is buffing the team. And sometimes what you can do actually, I'm going to make an adjustment here. What I would recommend, if your Vala keeps dying because you're pushing the AFK stages, put Cecia in front of in front of Vala. Do that. So that should improve her survivability because remember Cecia's a tankier marksman, and she summons a minion as well. So that's like another body to absorb hits. We really don't want Vala to die, so kind of pay attention to. Oh my god. Okay, so when that happens, good to know. Oh, thank you, Twister. This is where you have to make a decision. Oh, sorry, that's for me to wake up. That's when you have to make a decision, okay? One thing I recommend is whenever you have a primary team, always have a sixth and seventh man ready to deal with specific situations. So uh, that time his heals didn't cut it. So I'm gonna bring an even tankier healer. I'm gonna bring Haywin. So this is actually another reason why I like this Graveborn core, because you have the damage, you have the best tank, you have the best damage dealer, and you have crowd control. But just as importantly, you maintain the faction bonus, which gives you flexibility depending on the situation. If you are dealing with really difficult content, or where like Rowan's heals aren't enough, or let's say you don't have Rowan enough copies of him to provide good enough heals, then that's where you have to swap him with either Smokey or preferably a more defensive healer like Haywin. Because remember, when Haywin is Mythic Plus or higher, she's immune to crowd control when she casts her ultimate. When she casts her ultimate, she's immune to crowd control for 6 seconds. She buffs she reduces damage taken by her party by 30%. And she burst heals. So that may do the trick actually. And this will keep Thorin alive as well. So this is going to be the adjustment. And I'll still keep Ceci in front of Vala, because you saw how much damage Cecia took during that wipe. Vala would have died even sooner. So we'll maintain the stone wall, because typically this team breaks down when Thorin dies. So I think it makes a ton of sense to have a buff that grants her a shield, increases your attack speed, and increases your vitality, which makes you tankier, makes your entire team tankier. So let's go ahead and give this a try. And if this doesn't work, what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap places and target this guy instead, because I don't know. Actually, let's try that. Actually, I keep saying actually. I'm sorry. I'm still waking up. Let's target the marksman. We're making adjustments here. All right, let's try it. And by the way, you guys are on YouTube, whoever's watching. There's 22 of you watching, so if you want to be on YouTube for this Vala guide, feel free to say hello. Yeah, so this adjustment made a huge difference. So I might need to change my thumbnail, because personally, I think that Haywin is the best healer by a mile. By a mile, guys. It's not even close. Especially for endgame content. Okay, so we'll stick with this team. I actually like this team way more. Now, based on his formation, unfortunately, you don't really have a choice as to who the target is, because it's the person furthest from Vala, and they're in this awkward position. Hey, let's be friends. Yeah, so you're going to be on YouTube if you watch this. So yeah, we're going to kind of adjust. I think this is fine, actually. All right. And so we still have the faction bonus, right? Because we had three Graveborns. Oh god. One Lightbearer and one Wilder. Did she get the KO? Oh yeah, she did. She's in invincible mode. Yeah, Igor is Monka, but Igor. Yeah. um, yeah. I'm gonna bring Igor into the mix when we push higher levels. Let's just keep pushing, guys, because I'm gonna showcase all sorts of ways that I adjust when I bang my head against the wall for AFK stages. Okay, so we have two choices. So typically, will most of the time Vala will have either one or two targets because it's the target furthest from her. So mages, I did mention before, was the ideal target. Ooh, a healer skilled at healing. So we don't want that. So it's gonna so we're gonna do target that marksman there. And let's go ahead and spread out the team. Actually, you know, I kind of like this. Let's do this. We'll turtle up here. What just happened? Okay, we're invincible mode. Or that was her ultimate, sorry. Huh. Okay, so we might need to make an adjustment if we keep dying. Okay, let's try the... Actually, you know what? Let's try the healer. Let's test my theory. So I think they're pushing my tank back. Alright guys, time to make an adjustment. Hmm. Okay, so instead of Carolina, I'm gonna bring Igor. I think what we'll do is we're gonna help Thorin out with the front line. Yo, hey Taurus, you're on YouTube. We're filming a Vala guide right now. I already explained her kit and we're going over various team combinations for Vala. And then we'll watch some replays of me going against Vala teams in PvP earlier today. Yeah, but we're stuck on an AFK stage, but this is good though. You can kind of see like how I shaped the team so that we still win. I'm gonna try the healer. I think we really gotta take out their healer. Oh, it's because Thorin's dying, that's why. Holy. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, Vala might not be the best unit for this team. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. So this is gonna be the hard truth for, the hard reality for Vala simps, is that Vala is sometimes not the answer for every team, no matter how much you try. At this point, I'm just trying to clear, right? That's all that matters, doesn't matter which units. So I'm going to make an executive decision, and I'm going to go with my team. This is my favorite team. Looks like a Viperion slot. That's true. But let's try my team first. We're going to go double healer. We're going to actually have the tankiest healer here. And then we'll do this. So this is my team, actually. This is the team that I use to push content, and this is the team that I bring to PvP, in case you're curious. It's basically a Graveborn core with two of the best healers in the game. And what's cool about this team is that, you got Haywin to, provide her 30% damage mitigation and do her burst healing with her Rain Prayer and be CC immune. But additionally, you have Rowan to grant energy, do backup healing, like he's like the healing assistant. And he gives energy to everyone to allow Haywin to get her ultimate off sooner, to give that 30% damage reduction for your party as well as burst heal. And it makes your Carolina, a ultimate sooner, and Cessia ultimate sooner, and Thorin ultimate sooner. So this is my most favorite team right now. This is what I do to push content that's way above where I should be at. Okay, yep. Okay, although Rowan died. I need Rowan at Mythic Plus to keep him from dying. But this should do it though. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm very high up there right now. Holy. Okay, so when that happens, Carolina's not the answer. Carolina's not the answer. We're gonna go Igor. Yeah. So I go Igor because it relieves pressure off of Thorin. Seems like this is an awakening spell. Yeah, that's actually true too. I still prefer having more defenses, because healing doesn't help when you get KO'd, but let's try it. Chad is helping out. Let's go with his with friends' input. So good morning, just woke up. Welcome, Jodson. You're on YouTube right now. We're filming a Vala guide. And I already explained her kit. I'm just going over different team combinations. Except Vala is not enough for this stage, I think. They're just too tanky. The problem with Vala is that the tankier they are, which usually is the higher stage you are, right? The tankier the back row is, the later she can enter her ninja mode, which means you're not getting the damage that you need. And usually your team's wiping at the same time, because you really need Vala to do Vala things in order for the team to mesh together. So this is why I say, like, yeah, have your Vala team, but have a 6th, 7th, or even 8th player to swap around with, But keep in mind the faction bonus. You always want to have at least 3 units of the same faction to get the 10% HP, 10% attack. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this a try. Yeah, let's give this a try. So we have Igor to relieve pressure off of Thorin. So Thorin died there. Okay, Igor died. Holy. But this might do it though, because really oh, holy. Okay. If this doesn't work, I'm switching to the stone wall. Yeah, I need to switch to Stonewall. I need them to be tankier. Go Merrily on Legendary as well. Okay. Okay. So Merrily is Lightborn, so we could actually... I just want to try this one more time. And actually what I may need to do is switch positioning. Okay, if I keep wiping, I'm going to move on because I don't want this video to be too long. Actually, this video is already 44 minutes, so I might need to end this soon. Okay, anyways, we're at this point we're not even talking about Vala, so let's just go over some replays from PvP. So let's go to battle modes, PvP. I probably should have saved one PvP to do a showcase, but it's fine. So let's go over my log. So let's go over a team that uses Temesia, and let's talk about why this team clicks. Oh, that is a spicy team. We can go over that too, but okay, yeah. So most of the PvPs at the higher echelons who are running Vala are running this team. It's Cecia, Vala, Rowan, Temesia, and Thorin. So you have a double tank, but Temesia is a tank that runs around all over the place. So not really on tanking duty, but let's go ahead and go over the replay. Okay. So Temesia is just running around all over the place. And I should mention that this Vala team actually works better on maps like this because you get to hide Rowan behind a wall. That kind of helps. That was kind of a fast... Let me see. That occurred so quickly. I should probably turn off the 2x speed for this. Okay. So let's replay this, but let's slow it down a little bit. Okay, so he had the tanks in the front. He had Ceci and Vala in the back. Vala was targeting my Carolina. But notice how Vala never entered her ninja mode because I have a double healer and I'm running a very tanky composition. So that's probably why this team broke down. Yeah. And so this is actually why that guy ran Raynor, because Raynor improves the damage output of your team while also doing some CC. So let's check out this guy, who's actually has a better team. Oh, here Vala does more damage, so this should be a good showcase. So here he's running Smokey, Cecia, Raynor, Vala, and Thorin. So he still gets the Graveborn faction, 3 Graveborn buff, quote unquote, because Raynor, even though he's a hypogen counts towards every single faction. So I'm going to slow it down. I actually think this team is quite good. Actually, this might be the optimal team for Vala because you have Smokey providing offensive. He's an offensive healer, right? He buffs the attack of your party, but Raynor also buffs the attack of your party. So this might be the best team for Vala. Yeah, let's see. And this is a standard stage, so this is more realistic. So, yep, very good. And he's running the Awakening spell. I think this might be one of the better teams. Ooh, yeah, and she's targeting my Cecia. My Cecia is almost dead. So once my Cecia dies, then she enters the ninja mode. Oh, but because... Oh, that was a clutch heal. So Vala still has not gotten her buff yet. That was her ultimate, not her ninja buff. Oh, okay, and Raynor blinks my Carolina off the stage. And Vala's like Monka Essing trying to KO one of my guys, but cannot. And interestingly, he chose to put Vala behind Thorin, because notice how the chain was connected to Thorin. So that might be a positioning strat that you want to consider. We could actually try this team. That was actually pretty cool. So let's try that team, see how we perform. Now, my Raynor is only Mythic Plus, so this might not be the best showcase, but I'll try. Okay, so let's simulate that team comp. So Vala was in the middle, right? Well, she was bonded to Thorin. And then I remember Raynor was on the side flank. Actually, probably not on the side flank. Well, with him, you had to be careful because. And let me just make sure something. Yeah, we still have the 3-party buff. And she's gonna blink the sorcerer or attack the sorcerer. Okay, so it's probably something like this. Yeah, I think that was the attack formation. Hitting it early, wish I could push hard. I'm bottlenecked with power. Hey Jellyfish, you're on YouTube right now. We're filming a video, a Vala guide. Okay, so let's try this, and he went the awakening spell, right? So let's see if this helps. So I'm gonna slow it down so we can see what's going on. Okay, yeah, it's just the stage. Okay. Yeah, it's just a really high stage, guys. It's not because the team's bad. Alright, so let's do one more replay before we end the video. We don't want this to be an hour long. I don't think anyone's going to watch it. The whole thing. So, okay, I'm going to show the team that I lost against. This was a Vala team. We actually had equal power. 2 tanks and a healer, it seems. Yeah, I think that might be the way to go. So that's where Temesia might help. But okay, so you see how much Temesia and Vala did? Thank you for the follow, Leywat. I appreciate you. Yeah, this team was awesome. So this team had, it was 4 Lightborns and 1 Wilder. This is cool. Maybe we can run this team comp as well. So basically what this team does is that, okay, so, oh, it wasn't even Temesia, guys. It was Atalanta. This guy was a Giga Chad. So, like when we did this fight yesterday, I think we had like 40 people, almost 50 viewers watching, who were like, no one knew who Atalanta was. We had to read her kit together. But basically what she does is she stuns with her ultimate. She immobilizes, makes them cannot move for 3 seconds. She does blast damage, like, you know, AoE, mini AoE damage. She has haste, so she increases her attack speed. And Sweet Encounter, which one's that? Okay, I don't know what Sweet Encounter is. And she heals herself too. Yeah, this was a spicy team. Yeah, and of course, yeah, she had Temesia as well, I'm sorry. And Temesia doing Temesia things. Damon as 1 healer, Rowan as a backup healer with energy battery. So this was cool. Okay, so notice the formation. He actually had Vala on one side. The healer's in the back. And yeah, you know what's crazy about this team is that he took out both of my damage dealers. I need to watch that replay one more time. I'm still studying the footage to figure out how I lost. This was the one loss that got handed to me earlier today. And he's running an awakening spell. I mean, Granted, this was a grindy match. But this was a really Monka-esque moment because I had double healer, but all I had for damage was Thorin. Yeah, I think if both my damage dealers were not KO'd, I probably could have won. So it may have... Actually, chat was telling me it was a positioning issue on my part. I hate this map, but... yeah, okay. So you guys get the idea. Yeah, Vala was still going at it. She just wouldn't quit. It was insane. Yeah. Okay, so let's watch that one more time and then we'll end the video. Okay, so let's break it down. Oh, okay. So she had both Vala and Atamantia, whatever her name is, on opposite sides, and then the tank in the front, Tamisi in the front, and then the healers in the back row. And then they kind of moved around a lot. I still don't understand how my you know, maybe it was because I didn't pay attention to who she was targeting. The rain cloud was above who? It was above my Cessia. Ooh. So this was probably... Oh, and for some reason my Cessia... That was all Vala damage. So this was probably a heavily invested... Supreme Plus for sure Vala. Maybe her EX weapon is like level 4 or 5 because my Vala, her EX weapon is level 3 and her skill is I think also level 2 or level 3 and I don't think she hits that hard. So, and my Cessia Supreme Plus and on the Stonewall spells, so anyway, very spicy team for you if you want to give that a try. Anyways, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy content like this, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.